We have a pretty neat story for you now. An old church in Alliance is now home to 1,000 new inhabitants. A collection of dolls, some dating as far back as the 1800s. Kayla Buchanan made the trip to Alliance to see the collection firsthand.
It took years of dedication, finding all the unique dolls that make up Millie Duncan's collection.
Some of them just come to you, like people phone and say. I bought a lot on the internet. Auction sales, yard sales.
When the collection grew too big to be displayed or even stored in Millie's home, the community came forward to help buy a larger space. It's now the Alliance Doll Museum.
The community has supported us fantastically with the money donations and all kinds of support.
When I saw the terrific collection that Millie had, as she shared with me, I just had a feeling.
Millie's been growing her collection since 1995, and it's grown to almost 1,000 dolls.
When I was little, I wanted Barbara Ann Scott doll, and I couldn't have one because we didn't have enough money. And so then I found one for sale and bought it, and it just sort of took off and snowballed from there.
What started as a hobby for one local woman is now shared and appreciated by the entire community.
I've really enjoyed doing the display here. I guess maybe I never really grew up or in my second childhood or something, but I've had a ball doing it.
Well, I've met some of the most wonderful people that I've ever met through this doll collection. Of course, all this wonderful museum crew from Alliance that I never would have met if it hadn't been for the dolls, and they are second to none.
Kayla Buchanan, Newcap News.
Balancing a music career and a family is tricky business. In this week's Arts and Entertainment feature, we meet a singer-songwriter mother who is now returning to her music again. Gerard Lambow has the story.
I was lost, but I knew one day you'd find me.
Dahlia Wakefield was born in the Philippines but grew up in Maidstone and Lloydminster. It was at Grant MacEwan where she started her music career. After releasing 2 albums, she took a 5-year break to start a family.
Just having music back in my life, I just feel whole again, and my children are the world to me, and this CD is actually dedicated to them.
Her influences range from Hart to Jan Arden, but she sees herself as an eclectic singer and doesn't really like to be labeled.
Full Circle signifies my return to the music world because I'm a vocal coach as well at Cooper Studios, and basically being a vocal coach, it just made me realize that I really missed music.
Dahlia is promoting her new album online and is making time to share her talent with the community.
I love to perform acoustically. In fact, I'm singing for Relay for Life in Sherwood Park on May 25th, and I'm also doing a singer-songwriter showcase in St. Albert on May 31st.
Hurry up, lazy days of summer.
Gerard Lampow, Newcap News.
Coming up, the Conservatives announce sweeping changes to employment insurance. Find out what's different next.
Stocks and oil prices brought to you by Spectrum Restoration. When disaster strikes, don't wait. Call the professionals at Spectrum Restoration, a certified member of the Canadian Disaster Restoration Group.
Thank you, Gerard. I'm definitely looking forward to that sunshine. Well, hogs are often overshadowed by cattle, and once again, this trend is continuing in the markets. In this week's Agriculture Report, Peter Quinlan tells us how hog operations here at home have an effect on the industry.
Hogs are usually a hot commodity during the spring and summer, but a recent drop-off in cattle markets is putting pressure on the pigs.
Typically we see hog markets pick up this time of year and tend to strengthen into June, July, and we still expect that to happen, but now that's happening from a little lower price level than was expected earlier on.
With the summer barbecue season approaching, Blue expects demand for hog to go up, causing supplies to dwindle.
The hog supply tends to be less in the June-July period, and at the same time the demand for bacon and summer use of bacon tends to pick up, and as well for pork chops, of course.
Recently, Blue has seen many local hog producers move out of the business, leaving only a few large-scale operations in the Midwest.
Quite a few of the hog producers have just shut down their smaller barns in the last few years here. So there isn't nearly as many hog producers around as there were.
Reduction of hog operations locally and across the country has led to weaker seasonal trends, such as those seen in the summer and winter months.
We've seen fewer of the small in-and-out operators in hogs, and we've seen more of the operations become huge operations that don't tend to react that much to price in terms of scaling back and then scaling up and so on.
So while hogs increase in popularity over the summer, Blue says they play an important role in agriculture year-round.
The hog producers are certainly a welcome thing because they provide a really good outlet for feed grains, and particularly grains that may not be as easily sold into the elevator system.
Peter Quinlan, Newcap News.
The Agriculture Report is brought to you by Novlin Brothers in Lloydminster. Find the best in versatile and Kubota machinery. Novlin Brothers, serving you better.
Coming up, helping Canadian troops make the transition as they make their way home from Afghanistan. We'll tell you how after the break.
The ag and commodity prices are brought to you by City Center Auto Body.
Look, Mom.
At City Center Auto Body, they can fix anything.